All right, everybody. I'm Logan Alec. I'm a CPA. I was kind of out in the sun today, so that's why I look a little red. Anyway, this is my update for Sunday, March 28th. Unfortunately, I don't have any updates for you with respect to the stimulus payments. We are still waiting for a payment date and more details from the IRS with respect to stimulus payments for Social Security beneficiaries and other recipients of other federal benefit programs. Hopefully, we'll get that information sometime this week. For now, I would encourage you to, of course, keep checking the Get My Payment tool. If your payment hasn't shown up, there should be another batch going out this week. Of course. Now that the IRS does have the information they need from the Social Security Administration, it shouldn't take long to hopefully get them to start rolling those payments out. I don't have any inside knowledge here. It's possible that there will be further delays for some reason that we don't know about yet. That wouldn't surprise me one bit, but at this point, my best guess is that we'll get an update sometime this week about payments for this group from the IRS, this group that has pretty much been left behind over the first 2 weeks of third stimulus payments. All right, let's get into the news. Some of you might have seen Pete Buttigieg talking about the infrastructure bill late last week. I didn't bring it up here, but CNBC asked him about the idea of a mileage tax. So the idea that you pay taxes per mile that you drive. He said, I think that shows a lot of promise if we believe in that so-called user pays principle. The idea that part of how we pay for roads is you pay based on how much you drive. The gas tax used to be the obvious way to do it. It's not anymore. So a so-called vehicle miles travel tax or a mileage tax, whatever you want to call it, could be the way to do it. That obviously got a lot of attention. Obviously, people don't feel like they have much control over their driving, right? I mean, if you work across town and there's no public transportation, they don't really have an easy alternative. If you're a heavy commuter, this is obviously going to be an issue. Mileage taxes can add up when you're doing 20, 30, 40 miles of driving every day, and they can become regressive or at least less progressive, since that kind of tax is more likely to, say, affect commuting workers than maybe their bosses. However, the New York Times reported today that there will not be a mileage tax in the infrastructure bill, citing a spokesman for the Transportation Department. So more likely, funding will come from increasing the top personal income tax rate, taxing capital gains as income for those who earn over $1 million per year, repealing at least some of Trump's tax cuts, etc. And we'll start to get a clear idea of the plan this week when Biden announces this infrastructure bill in Pittsburgh. Of course, there will still be time for changes after that, but we'll get a look at what the administration wants to do in the big picture, along with how they're planning to pay for it. All right, everybody, that's all I have for you today. Short and sweet update on this Sunday evening. You may have seen Biden announce that he's planning to run for re-election in 2024. Personally, I mean, I would be surprised. It's still a few years away, and he's already the oldest president by a pretty wide margin. Obviously, he wouldn't want to come out now and say that he's going to hang his hat after his first term. So maybe this is just political positioning. But it will be interesting to see how he approaches that and what the party really expects of him, quite frankly, as we get closer and closer to 2024. Of course, Kamala Harris would be a natural nominee if he decides to step down, but there's still a lot of time for things to change, obviously, within the Democratic Party. Obviously, that dynamic would shift if Trump announced that he's going to try to get himself back in the White House. So this is just something to keep an eye on. There's still ways to go, obviously. We're still in the first year of Biden's administration. But, as the administration pivots from his first 100 days to developing more of a long-term vision, this will definitely be interesting. As always, thank you so much for watching to the end. I really appreciate your support. I will, of course, be back with a new information on the stimulus and the infrastructure bill every day this week. So until then, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.